How's it going, everybody? Savvier saying, what is good to all my Super Saiyan homies? Here to bring you Dragon Ball Legends, anime, and manga content. If you enjoy the video and you want to see more stuff like this, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. If you end up doing all that Mishigas I just mentioned, leave a comment down below because I super duper Saiyan appreciate all of you, and I'll be sure to respond. That being said, let's hop into it for today. So today, I'm sure for those of you who follow me on Insta, a couple of you that I reached out to personally, kind of know what the gist of this video is going to be. The whole idea for this video is going to be, I did a survey based off of something that someone asked me in my DMs on Insta about how to stay calm in ranked matches, how to kind of keep a level head, make better decisions, make those spur-of-the-moment decisions and stuff like that. And quite honestly, I didn't have a great answer because if I'm being honest here, and I mean, you guys are pretty aware of this at this point, I am not the most patient player in the world. I'm actually fairly aggressive, and it doesn't always pay off for me. I try to make the adjustment when I can, but a lot of the times I do let my frustration get the better of me. So I felt the best way to go about this was to survey my following and to see what we could get. And I actually even put a tweet out reaching out to the major YouTubers like Rhymestyle, Goresh, all of them and whatnot. The only one who responded was Bradical, and I'm fairly certain he was being sarcastic, but I'm still appreciative that he did take the time to respond, regardless of the fact of whether or not he was actually trying to be helpful or if he was being sarcastic like I somewhat think. So regardless, thank you, Bradical, for actually responding. I really appreciate that. That being said, let's hop into it. I'm only going to include 5 things on this list because a lot of the things kind of overlapped. We had somewhere between 40 and 50 people. I don't remember the exact number who responded. So that's about half of the Family Feud surveys group, so I didn't have any issue with that. So let's hop into the first one. Starting off with our first one, we have listening to music. This was absolutely by far the most popular answer that people sent. Turn off the in-game music. You have the option to do it. You can turn off the in-game music and leave the sound effects on so you can still hear the characters, and just put together a playlist of music you enjoy. You know, especially if you're not recording and you don't have to worry about copyright, just put on some music that you can really get behind that's going to help you play. I've actually found myself, I've kind of started to change it up a little bit from listening to fight music to actually listening to some like lo-fi beats, and I've kind of found that helps me stay a little bit calmer. So, finding a genre or artist or songs that fit your mood, fit your play style, it's definitely going to help you out. Definitely saw that as the most common answer that people seem to have said. So let's move on to our next option. The next thing that I got that came in pretty much the second most common was to simply just take a break and walk away. And I think this is the most respectable answer that anybody could give. Because I truthfully, I know me personally, I know that I struggle at knowing when to take a break because I don't like leaving on a loss. I don't like ending off on a loss. I like to end on a win. I like to end on a high note. So, if I get myself worked up and I start getting really frustrated, I could start spiraling myself into a losing streak. So I think this is really important to kind of get behind, is to essentially know when to fold. So I think that's a really good one. Let's hop into our next ones. The next ones are where they start kind of getting a little bit less straightforward, I guess. Coming in next, we have remind yourself that it's just a game and kind of remind yourself why you're playing. So at the basis of that, yes, you want to remind yourself that it's just a game. You are playing just for fun and everything, but also remind yourself why you're playing. Are you playing for CC? Are you playing just to, hit rank 40 just to get the basic rewards from PvP, like that little multi-Z and everything like that, and the equipment medals and whatnot? Are you playing for content? Are you playing to make content for others, to show other people how good a certain unit is or whatnot? You just got to kind of remind yourself why you're playing the game. What is the reason you picked up and went into PvP? For me personally, I know it's making content. That for me has always been why I've enjoyed PvP, is just making content and analyzing the meta, seeing where all the units stand in the game. That's for me personally my favorite part about it. So yeah, that's that. Let's move on to our next answer. The next thing I want to point out, and I think people overlook this because I think people like to think of this as something that really just content creators do or YouTubers do, and that is giving yourself verbal cues, giving yourself verbal reminders. You'll notice a lot that like Rhymestyle will say sidestep for me, or that D3 or Ryuden will just say like, wait a second or something like that. They'll literally just remind themselves to wait, to be patient, to not go right away. I know sometimes when we talk about YouTubers getting quiet, that's when things are getting really serious, and you should probably pay attention. But also, when they are pointing things out, like, okay, like he's gonna switch here, he's gonna rush here, he almost has a rush or something like that. Those verbal cues, those verbal reminders are a good way to kind of remind yourself of what's going on. Being like, okay, he has no vanish right now is a good way to remind yourself that this is probably a decent time for you to be a little bit aggressive, to take priority rather than being defensive. So yeah, I think this is a really, really important one, even if you're not creating content, just to kind of give yourself those verbal cues, those verbal reminders, because, if someone says it out loud and you hear it out loud, even if you're just hearing your own voice, you're that much more likely to execute it and remember. So yeah, I thought that was a really, really good one, and we're going to move on to our final answer. Lastly, this was my absolute favorite answer that I had gotten. It came from a good homie, and I thought it was probably the most insightful thing that anybody could have said about being patient and being understanding of the game, and that is focus on your frustration. Don't let that frustration get the better of you. Focus on it. Point out why you're frustrated. Find the things that are causing your frustration, because you're not just getting angry at the game for no reason. You're getting angry, for a certain reason. Maybe you tried to do a key cancel and you got PV'd in the process. Maybe you're trying to wait and you're mistiming everything. Maybe you're going too early and you're getting vanished on and letting them get the priority. Maybe you're panic swiping. Just find the things that are making you frustrated and focus on them, and see what you can do to try and change them. That's the only way is you're going to get better, is focusing on things. And I know that it's kind of hard to do in the moment. So something that I was doing just before I started making videos and content was recording matches and watching them back and seeing what I did wrong and saying, okay, I could have done this better there. I could have done that better there. You guys hear me say it in my post-commentary videos a lot. I'll say, okay, I could have used the screen card. I could have waited a second or something like that. So I think that that's a very powerful thing too. You may not necessarily be able to do it in the moment, but if that's the case, record a couple of matches here and there and watch them back and kind of go, okay, you know what, I could have done this a little better. So that being said, those are the top 5 things that I got. Those are the top 5 answers that I got about what you should do to kind of calm yourself down and have patience. I got some pretty unique ones as well about, what you can do when you're taking a break, how to clear your mind and stuff like that. I didn't want to go too specific on those because that just was going to make the video clustered and long. So I figured I would just kind of conjoin and conglomerate them into one big answer. So yeah, I hope you guys found this helpful. Like I said, this was a survey video, so these answers are not just my own doing. These came from about 50 people who reached out via my DMs or via my story. So yeah, thanks guys for everybody who reached out and supported with this and contributed. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.